Chale guys, we'll start away with our sums also. Till now, whatever we all have done, that is basically introduction to cost sheet. Apart from that, what is cost accounts? What is financial accounts? How is the format of cost sheet supposed to be interpreted? Okay, we all try to be doing that. Once that was done, we did valuation of stock. Okay, we also did that. Every expense is dependent upon which quantity. We try to be doing that particular thing. Okay, financial expenses, financial incomes do not come in costing. We all did that particular thing also. Okay, now with this background, we are all set to start our question number 1. There are some differences between cost accounts and financial accounts that I have to explain you all more, but that we all will be seeing after the first few questions. Okay, so let's start it off. So it's question number 1, please. Okay, so you all can come over there. Ensure that your calcs are there with you. So let's start question number 1. The following is the data of a company manufacturing product X. Okay. Purchases of raw material 48,000 rupees. Direct wages 40,000. Works on cost, that's an alternate name for factory overheads. Do remember that particular thing. Further, administration overheads related to production. Now, administration, if nothing is told, you should try to write down an assumption that I assume that administration are general in nature if nothing is told. In this question, it is told it is related to production. Now tell me, we already yesterday only are administration related to production comes above cost of production or below cost of production? Administration over it's related to production comes above COP? Above, no? Okay, that comes below your factory cost. Okay, on the next line. Further. Then sales of product X, that is 1,20,000. Stock as on 1/4/2021 of raw materials, of WIP, of finished goods. Then stock as on 31st of March 2022 of raw material, WIP and finished goods. Further, advertisement discount allowed and selling cost is 0.40 per quintal. Okay, during the year, 25,600 quintals of X were produced. Prepare a cost sheet. So that is your first job to be done. Second job, also show the valuation of closing stock of X if company follows weighted average and LIFO method. Okay, so that is one thing that we all will try to see after some time. Okay, now tell me one thing. In this case, what is the name of your product in the question? Name of the product? X. Now, before I start away with any question, okay. Now, I will require these 4 quantities. Which 4 quantities? I'll require opening stock of finished goods. Finished goods means X over here. Okay. Then I would require how many units of finished goods you have produced in this year. So, therefore, to quantity produced of finished goods, that's X. Now, see. In the beginning, we had this much, plus we produced this much. So, this will be the total quantity that we all had. Now, what you will do with this particular quantity? Sir, there are only 2 options. Either you will sell this quantity, so therefore, buy quantity sold of finished goods, or you will not sell it. If you will not sell it, it will nothing be but your closing stock of finished goods. Okay. In case out of these 4 figures, 1, 2, 3 and 4, one of them is not there, you can try to make an account like this and get your number as a balancing figure. Okay. Now search in the question, 3 figures are there. First of all, tell me which number. I only want quantities, please. I only want quantities. Tell me, do you have opening stock of finished goods? I want the quantity. Do you have it? 1600 quintals. Okay. What further information you have about the remaining 3? Out of remaining 3,
closing stock.
You have closing stock of finished goods, that is 3,200 quintals. Okay. Furthermore, 25,600. I guess that is quantity produced over here. Okay. So therefore, this is going to be your balancing figure. Okay. Take up your calcs. Get me this figure as a balancing figure. 24,000 quintals. Okay. Now, this thing we are going to be preparing by way of a note once your cost sheet is done. But whenever you are making it in form of a note now, make it like a note and not like an account. So, obviously, this particular figure will be nothing but this plus this minus this. Okay. So, therefore, we'll try to make that in a statement form. Okay. Now, over here, based upon the stocks, you will realize that we are trying to make cost sheet for 1 year because the gap between the stocks is 1 year. You all understood this? So this will be cost sheet for 1 year that we are trying to be preparing. Okay, take a fresh new page, give the title. Chapter number 6A, if yesterday you all had not given, give the title chapter number 6A, cost sheet. There is nothing else to be written, okay, so do not leave any pages or something, that is all fine now. Cost sheet for the year ended 31st March 2022. Now, I usually write down these two things, quantity produced of finished goods and quantity sold of finished goods. These two informations are usually stored over here. So, quantity produced was 25,600 quintals. Quantity sold, we just now found out, 24,000 quintals. Total per unit, approximately for 3/4 of the side, you all can make it, please. Can we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Now see. We start away with the usual format of cost sheet. Okay, so first thing that comes in your cost sheet, there is nothing but direct material consumed. Direct material consumed means raw material consumed. That is opening stock, obviously of material only. Add purchases, obviously of material only. Less closing stock, of course, of material only. Now, direct material consumed, that is opening stock of raw material. So, opening stock of raw material you will get over here. Purchases of raw material you will get over here. Closing stock of raw material you are going to be getting over here. So, therefore, 8,000 plus 48,000 less 6800. 49,200. Per unit we will see after some time, not right now. Further, direct labor. Direct labor means direct wages. These are alternate names only. You all can write down over here once if you all want. So that's 40,000. Okay. Prime cost is not given. Sorry, direct expenses. Yesterday I told you nothing should be deemed to be direct expense unless and until it is told in the problem that it is direct expense. So forget it. In this question, there is no head like that of direct expense. Let's go over to a next thing. Total of this in this case will be called as prime cost. So write down prime cost. 89,200. Add factory overheads. Now, factory overheads in this particular case means works on cost. Works on cost is an alternate name for factory overhead, 16,800. Now this total is called as what? Yesterday you all have made a cost sheet here. We all spent 1.5 hours for it. This total is called as what? Gross factory cost. So write down gross factory cost 1,06,000. Okay, this. Now yesterday when we were doing explanation to the cost sheet, if you all remember, this is your first part of cost sheet. You all remember that? Your first part of, we all had made 3 brackets. This is your first part of cost sheet, no? All the expenses that you write till this particular stage are incurred for 2 things. Which 2 things? For making finished goods and for making WIP. So in this particular case, what I should be doing, it's a very simple thing. To get per unit of these particular figures, no, you should divide by quantity produced of finished goods plus quantity produced of WIP. You should divide it up for that particular thing. But if you will check it up in this particular question and in many questions in future, WIP quantity is not given to you. You have rupees, you do not have quantity of that. Over here you have rupees, but then here also you have your rupees only. You don't have the quantity. So technically speaking, if I want per unit of all these figures, no, all these figures are incurred for what? They are incurred for making finished goods and making WIP, but you do not have quantity of WIP stock. Therefore, I cannot be dividing all these particular figures by quantity produced of finished goods plus quantity produced of WIP. Therefore, I have no other option than to be dividing all these figures only by quantity produced of finished goods. Is that all understood? Yes. That is the limitation of the question. It is not my limitation. It is the limitation of the question, and that limitation will be there in many problems in this particular chapter. The time I teach you process costing, okay, time that I teach you process costing, at that time we will be given quantities of WIP stock also. That chapter I'll teach you only for that particular purpose. But till the time we are going to be doing that particular chapter, we have no other option. All these figures in reality should be divided by quantity produced of finished goods plus quantity produced of WIP, but we do not have quantities of WIP. Therefore, we have got no other option. Divide all these figures by quantity produced of finished goods only. Just do one small thing. Write 1, write 1, write 1, write 1, write 1. This is for your reference only. And in the terrace of your notebooks, you all write down. To get per unit, we should divide by quantity produced of finished goods plus quantity produced of WIP. Mostly in this chapter, we will not be given quantity of WIP. Therefore, we do not have a choice but to divide by quantity produced of finished goods only. Is the note written?
Yes, sir.
Okay, further. So pick up your calcies and divide all these figures by 25,600. Okay, you do that thing with me only being the first question. 49,200 divided by 25,600. That's 1.92. We are usually going to be rounding off the figures up to 2 decimals. Okay. So rule of rounding off, you all know, if the third number is 5 or more, add 1 to the second number after the decimal point. So therefore it is 1.21875. I'll write down that particular thing as 1.92. Then 40,000 divided by 25,600, 1.56. Now just one small request, and that is, instead of adding these two numbers, which are not perfect answers because they are rounded off answers, it's always better to divide this total again by 25,600. So effect of rounding off will be slightly less. Okay. So pick up your calcies. 89,200 divided by 25,600. 3.48. Mostly it will be that only. Sometimes it might make a difference. Okay. Further, 16,800 divided by 25,600. 0. Tell me the further thing, please. 66. Pick up your calci. 1,06,000 divided by 25,600. It's 4.14. Now, further, add opening stock of WIP less closing stock of WIP. Now, one more rule in all your subjects from now, whichever subjects you all will be doing. Whenever you less anything, put that number in brackets, please. Else in exams, you will add up and then you will be coming out of the exams. Okay, so please ensure that you develop these small habits. Whenever you have to less something like closing stock and all, put that figure in brackets, please. So, opening stock 1920, closing stock 6,800. Now see. Sir, what about the per unit figures of this? Now see, common sense, whatever I'm saying. This is opening stock on the first day. This is opening stock on the first day. It makes absolutely no sense. It makes absolutely no sense to divide this particular figure by either quantity produced of finished goods of this entire year or quantity sold of finished goods of this entire year. Boss, this is opening stock of WIP. This is the WIP stock on the first day. Sir, then what it should be divided with? It should be divided by, see, this is the cost of opening WIP. No, it should be divided by quantity of opening WIP. Obviously, WIP quantities are not there. Hence, we are going to be putting dash over here. You all understood this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, that is 6,400, not 800.
Okay. This is 6,400. Now, just a sec. 6,400. I took up the material stock. Sorry. Now, those people who exactly copy whatever I do, please change. Okay, listen now. So, I do not have opening WIP quantity. Technically, this figure is opening stock of WIP cost. I should divide it by opening stock of WIP quantity to get per unit figure. Of course, we do not have that particular thing. So, therefore, no option. But then, in this particular case, to be dividing. Sorry, but then no other option than to be putting dash over here because we do not have those quantities. Okay, if we will have WIP quantities, then in that case, this figure I will divide by opening stock of WIP quantity. This figure I will divide by closing stock of WIP quantity. But in case I do not have no other option than to be putting dash over here. Put dash over here, please. Write down over here net factory cost. Pick up your calcies. 1,06,000 plus 1920 less 6,400. This is 101,520. Now, yesterday we explained cost sheet to the best of our abilities. Okay, we did everything. So one thing that you'll have to tell me, and what is that particular thing? Listen. Tell me, this is net factory cost. This is your first bracket or second bracket which has started now? Everybody, first bracket or second bracket? Second bracket, no? First bracket gets over here. Can we say all the expenses over here are in any case incurred for making finished goods, no? Because WIP is already left behind, no? What I want to be asking you all is this particular thing, that 101,520 to get per unit figure, we should divide by, I'm asking you all, quantity produced of finished goods plus quantity produced of WIP, or only quantity produced of finished goods? Only quantity produced of, so that note number 1 that you all have written on the terrace, is it to be written over here also or no? No. Even if you had WIP quantities, can we say to get per unit of this, you will only be dividing by quantity produced of finished goods, no? Okay, because whatever cost you have incurred on WIP, that is left far behind now. So now all my WIP costs are already gone from the picture. So therefore the cost information that is flowing now is only for making finished goods. So pick up your calcs, 101,520 divided by 25,600. This is 3.97. Okay, I'm writing something wrong. Tell me what I've written wrong. That note will not be applicable to this particular thing. Further, done. Now add administration overheads related to production. That is 3,200. $98,320. Now see, whatever I'm writing today, you all have written it yesterday. We are just trying to solve the practical part of it. You check over here, no? Direct material, direct labor, direct expenses, factory overheads. All of them are incurred for quantity produced of finished goods plus quantity produced of WIP. Administration, which are related to production, are incurred for what they are, only quantity produced of finished goods. Okay. Now, yesterday in our cost sheet also, you all had written that particular thing only. And that thing you all had written over here, I guess. Okay. Your production, your administration, which is production based, is incurred for quantity produced of finished goods. So, just do one small thing. Pick up your calcs, 3,200 divided by 25,600. It is 0.125. Acha. I have reduced the amount. I am really sorry. 101,520 plus 3,200. Cartoon I am. 104,720. Okay. Now see. Only for this question, no, so that I can teach you some other things. Pick up your calci, 104,720 divided by 25,600. Whatever that exact figure comes, no, only for this one single question ever you are going to be doing this. Okay, write down this complete thing because I want to be telling you all something that is only possible if I give this complete figure. 4.090625. From next time, we'll take it up to 2 decimals, but just for this first question, I want to be doing this. Now listen, this particular figure in your cost sheet is called as what? Cost of production. Listen. Let me write it, then you all write it. Listen, cost of production, and obviously this is the cost of finished goods that I'm making. I'm writing over here the quantity of finished goods also. So 25,600 quintals I have produced in this period. Okay. You write down like this only. Cost of production for 25,600 quintals. In any case, to get per unit figure, we divided by 25,600. No, it's the same figure only. Add opening stock of finished goods less closing stock of finished goods. Now see, opening stock of finished goods, I had the quantity with me. I write down that quantity over here for information's sake. 1600 quintals, 3200 quintals. Now see, opening stock of finished goods, you have been given, I guess, in terms of rupees also, opening stock of finished goods. So opening stock of finished goods in this particular case is over here, 6,400. Now see, it absolutely does not make any sense for me to be dividing this particular figure by quantity produced of finished goods for the entire year, because this is opening stock of finished goods on the first day. Okay. It does not make any sense for me to be dividing this particular figure by quantity sold also. Quantity sold is a quantity sold for the entire year. This is opening stock of finished goods on the first day. But it makes every sense for me to be dividing 6,400 by, you tell me one number please. 1600. This is the cost of 1600 units, no? So therefore divide 6400 by 1600. So therefore this will be 4.00. 4 rupees, so 4.00. Now next thing, just put a bracket over here and leave it. We will deal with it in some time. This net figure is going to be called as COGS. Cost of goods sold, you can write it in short form also, that's fine. Okay, so COGS in this particular case, 24,000 quintals. Now see, I want this particular number over here, okay, and this number usually will not be given to you in the problem also. You all can see over here, this is a question mark, okay, so I want this particular figure. Now in case you want this particular figure, what should be done here? What should be done? Listen, now this thing that we all had written before, this thing only I'm trying to make it bigger for you all, okay, listen. This information I'm trying to write it again once more in form of that account. You all are not writing this. Okay, see. So to opening stock of finished goods, you had 1600 quintals. I'll write with blue pen now, 1600 quintals. Every quintal had a cost of 4 rupees. So therefore this particular figure was 6,400. This was whatever you had right on the first day. After that, in this period, what you all have produced. So therefore, I am writing quantity produced of finished goods. Tell me, in this particular period, how many quintals you all had produced? 25,600. And every quintal produced had this total cost of 4.090625. So therefore, this was 104,720. Okay, that is this particular figure. Okay. I'm writing the figures from cost sheet only, but just in account manner, nothing else. Now, think this much I had in beginning, this much I produced more. So therefore, total was 27,200. Out of that, something I have sold here. So therefore, I'm writing over here by quantity sold. Obviously, I have sold how much? 24,000. And remaining in this particular case is nothing but closing stock of finished goods. Okay, now see. I want to get over here closing stock of finished goods. Okay, for that you follow some method. By default, we will always be following FIFO method. FIFO method says whatever was produced first will be sold first. By default, you follow your FIFO method only. Although in end, I'll show you. In case you follow weighted average, how will the answer change? In case you follow, say, LIFO method, how will the answer change? Okay, but by default, you are going to be following FIFO method. Okay. Now, FIFO means whatever is produced first is sold first. Okay, I'm talking of finished goods. Finished goods gets produced and then gets sold. Tell me one thing. If I follow FIFO method, then what must have been sold first? Tell me either the words or the quantity. The opening stock would have been sold. So therefore, 24,000 out of 24,000, 1,600 must have been your opening stock. Is that all okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, obviously, 1,600 units had a cost of how much? 4 rupees. Okay, pick up your calci, 24,000 into, sorry, 24,000 minus 1,600. So therefore, left is how much? 22,400. Can we say this 22,400 must have been out of 25,600, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This figure is over here, so therefore this must be out of this here. Okay, so therefore this will be, you tell me the cost over here for 22,400. 4.090625. Okay, so now I'm saying something different on the debit side. Can you say out of 25,600, just now we wrote that 22,400 are sold, no? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can we say remaining 3,200, that's a balancing figure over there. Can you say would have been there in closing stock, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I just want one answer from you all. If I will follow FIFO method, can we say this 3,200 will be out of which lot? Quantity produced. And therefore, it must be having a cost of how much? Just I want that number. 4.090625. Okay, so I am interested in this only exactly. Okay, so therefore, if I follow FIFO method, my closing stock will get valued at this particular figure. Okay, so therefore, this particular figure I'm going to be writing over here. So write down 4.090625.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir. The quantity produced of finished goods is 22,400.
Because I am following FIFO method, 1,600 must have been sold first. Out of 24,000, 1,600 comes from here. Balancing figure 22,400 would have come from where? It must have come from here only, no? Okay. Now, 4.090625. You pick up your calcies, please. 4.090625 into quantity of closing stock 6,200. You tell me the exact figure, please.
13090.
13090. Okay, now everyone. This plus this minus this, you get me that particular number, please, and only get me that particular number and nothing else. How much does it come to? 98030. Now, you are going to be telling me one thing and you will shout on top of your voice. Tell me 98030 is what? Cost of goods sold. You did not shout on top of your voice. It is what? Cost of goods sold. Okay, I'll say it for the third time now. 98030 is cost of goods sold. Can we say you all have sold 24,000 units, no?
Yes, sir.
Can we say 98030 is the cost of selling 24,000 units? But what you have sold is 1,600 units at the rate of 4. What you have sold is 22,400 units at the rate of 4.090625. So in case you find out this figure, you total it up. This particular figure in this particular case will be nothing but your 98030. Just try on your calci, please.
Yes, sir.
That comes for everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, it's a very simple thing. This is cost of opening stock. This is cost of producing the goods in this year. There's a cost of the goods that you have with you at the end of the year. So therefore, remaining part is nothing but cost of goods sold. Okay. Now, from next time, I might not make this particular thing. Okay. Because for FIFO method, no, it becomes actually very simple. You can do the things without making this account also. I wanted to make this account so that I can tell you 98030 ka logic. Okay. Otherwise, it's very simple for me. 98030. First of all, we all got it as a balancing figure, no? Okay, see. From future, you are always going to be by default following FIFO method. If I follow FIFO method, can we say my closing stock will always be out of my quantity produced? So do one thing, copy your current cost of production 4.090625 over here, multiply this particular figure with this, you will arrive at 13090. Once you all do that particular thing, after that, in this case, get this figure as a balancing figure. So you might not prepare the account as such. You can always get your COGS as a balancing figure also. Is that all fine for everybody? Next question you will have to be doing. So if there are any doubts, you will have to try to ask me that particular thing, please. Okay, further. Now, this is 98030. This is cost of how many units, boss? 24,000. So to get per unit, please divide by 24,000, please. 98030 divided by 24,000, and now you can take it up to 2 decimals. I'm all okay with that. I wanted this complete figure because that figure had to be coming over here. Okay. Else in this particular case, now this figure is only for show off and nothing else. Okay. So in case you don't want to be writing this number also, that's okay, but better to be writing it. Okay. But you can round it off up to 2 or 3 decimals. That is all fine. You want to take it up to 2 decimals also, I'm all okay with that. Okay. Now see. This is altogether done. In case you want to be writing 4.08 also, it is okay, it does not matter. Okay, further. Add. Now see, advertisement, discount allowed and selling cost is 0.40 per quintal. Okay. So advertisement, discount allowed and selling cost. Can you say all these particular things will be nothing but your selling and distribution, no? And this discount allowed obviously must be cash discount allowed only, because trade discount you directly reduce from sales. Yesterday we all did that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this must be in this case your S&D. Okay, so therefore add selling and distribution overheads. Now per unit figure is given to you 0.40. Now tell me one thing, to get the total figure, you should multiply by quantity produced or quantity sold. This is S&D, boss.
Quantity sold.
Quantity sold. So pick up your calci, 0.4 into 24,000, 9,600. This will be cost of sales. 107,630 divided by 24,000, please. 4.485. Add profit will fetch you sales. Now, this is a product that you all sell. Okay, so therefore 1,20,000 sales is given to you over here. Amount of sales 1,20,000. Tell me 1,20,000 rupees of sales you got by selling how many units in the market? 24,000. So please divide, and this particular figure of course will represent the selling price of your products. Okay, so therefore this will be your selling price. Get your profits as balancing figures. That will end the question.
12,370.
12,370 and per unit will be 0.515. Now, any doubts? No. Listen. This figure we had, this figure we try to get by making this kind of a thing. But this thing we'll make by way of a note. You all write on working note 1. Quantity sold of finished goods. But don't make it in account form, make it in a statement form. It looks better. Okay, so therefore, opening stock of finished goods 1600, add quantity produced of finished goods 25,600 less closing stock of finished goods 3,200. This will give you quantity produced of finished goods. You can write down this is quantity in quintals. This is quantity, sorry, sold of finished goods. Now see, this thing is altogether done. Now one small thing, and this thing will happen in accounts, it'll happen in costing, it'll happen in FM, in exams. In your required partner, there will be always some letters which ICA will print in capital. Okay. Prepare cost sheet. So prepare cost sheet. Same way, also show the valuation. So those words you have to try to interpret and try to reply to the question as such. Okay. So your part is one, your part one is done. Now second, also show the valuation of closing stock of X if company follows weighted average and LIFO method. Okay. So in this case, this is your part first of the question. Whatever you all have done till now, this is your part first of the question. Now we are doing part second. Now see, what those guys are saying, also show the valuation of X if company follows weighted average and LIFO method. Okay. Now what I'll do, that same account note that I prepared for you when I showed you the FIFO method, I'm preparing that once more now. Okay. You all don't make. Now in this case, so therefore I'm writing bit fast now. So opening stock 1600 quintals at the rate of rupees 4. This particular figure is 6400. Apart from that, this is quantity produced 25,600 at the rate of 4.090625. This particular figure was 104,720. This is in this case by quantity sold. Okay. And this in this particular case is nothing but closing stock. Okay. 24,000 units over here and this is 3,200 units over here. Okay. Now see, first we all followed our FIFO method. Now in this case, let's try to follow some other method. Now let's try to follow in this case a LIFO method. Okay, I'll show that LIFO method first. Okay, LIFO method says whatever has come in last will be sold first. Okay, now I'm asking you all, if I ever follow LIFO method, tell me this 24,000 will be out of how much?
25,600.
25,600. So can we say this entire figure will be at the rate of 4.090625?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is everybody okay with this? Everybody? Okay, now out of 3,200, obviously opening stock will be how much? 1,600. Now there will be bifurcation of closing stock, no? Out of closing stock of 3,200, 1,600 will be opening stock. And one other thing, can you say out of 25,600, 24,000 is sold, no? Over here. And remaining 1,600 in this particular case will be there in the closing stock. Is this all fine?
Yes, sir.
So if I follow my LIFO method, so 1,600 will be at the rate of 4 and remaining 1,600 will be out of, tell me, 4.090625. So if somebody had told me follow LIFO method else I will shoot you, then in that particular case answer will be this figure plus this particular figure. Is that all okay?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay, so that is whatever is going to be our answer as such. Okay, let's do our LIFO method first. You all have written part 2. On the next line, you all write down LIFO method. So, LIFO method in this particular case, 1600 units at the rate of rupees 4. This will be 6400. 1600 units at the rate of 4.090625. Compute this and total it up, please.
6545.
6545. Now, this particular part is done. Okay, so if it was LIFO method, this will be your answer. On the next line, you all write down weighted average method. Now see, don't write please, listen now. If you ever told me, sir, follow weighted average method, no, okay. Weighted average method, I think so, we should try to be solving in this particular manner. Weighted average method says, try to find out weighted average cost. Weighted average cost means overall cost. How do you find out that overall cost? You total up this figure and you total up this particular figure. This is total cost here, okay. This was 104720, no? Okay, you pick up your calcs and total up both these things, please. Find out total cost first. To get your weighted average cost, we have to do the totals 104720. This comes to 111120. That's okay for everybody?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And my total quantity will be total of this, that is 27,200. Under weighted average method, you find out your weighted average cost. Weighted average cost means overall cost. How do you get that? Add up your cost, add up your quantities, please divide. Now once you divide no yaar, divided by 27,200. Can we say approximately that comes to 4.085. Now once you get this particular figure, honestly, I'm not interested in this number. Honestly, I'm not interested in this number. You can say that overall, you had how many units? 27,200. And all of them overall had a cost of how much? 4.085. That's okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, next line is going to be the simplest line. Can we say whatever you sold, that also had a cost of 4.085? And whatever you did not sell, that also had a cost of 4.085, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so therefore obviously this is also out of this only, yeah? This is also out of this particular thing only. Okay, so if you ever followed LIFO method, in your cost sheet, instead of 13,090, you would have written this particular figure, 12,945. Obviously your further answers would have changed, your COGS would have changed up and so on. If ever you would have followed weighted average method, then your closing stock will be, pick up your calc, 3,200 into 4.085. That will be coming to 13,072. 13,072 in this particular case will be your closing stock figure. So therefore that number would be coming over here. And then all your below numbers will be starting to change. In case sum does not say anything, tell me by default which method? FIFO method. If some other method is being told, you can follow that. Okay. So let's complete the note of weighted average method. So write down weighted average cost is equal to, add up the cost, add up the quantities, 4.085 into quantity of closing stock. This is end of your question, whatever we all had to be doing. Okay, so just few of the things that we had to be knowing from this question that will always be there in form of shorts of the question. We should always try to find out all quantities of finished goods, that is opening, quantity produced, quantity sold and closing stock. Use FIFO method by default. Check administration whether it is related to production or not. In this question it was there, so therefore we all had taken it over here. If suppose it was general administration, we will take it with S&D over here. Okay, one other last thing. If in any question either profit or sales, if suppose both are not given, then you can finish off your cost sheet till COS also. Originally the format of cost sheet was always till cost of sales. So in case profit and sales, both of them cannot be found out or not given to you in the problem, then in that case you finish off your sum till your cost of sales only. Okay, our first question is altogether done.